I'm Bernadine Merrick, author of And the Walls Came Tumbling Down, The Secret Life of Senator Jack. It's a political suspense romantic thriller that's been getting incredible reviews. I'm really excited today to talk to you about my debut novel. And the Walls Came Tumbling Down, The Secret Life of Senator Jack is about twin boys that go from poverty to power and the choices they make to get there. One chooses a life of crime, the other gets an academic scholarship to mainstream prep school and goes on to Yale. And then suddenly their worlds dramatically collide. And one becomes this powerful senator on his way to the presidency, but he's got this detective that's able to track him to this crime that happened 25 years ago. The book also entails, of course, romance and love and suspense, the healing power of forgiveness and redemption. The power of family is also interwoven throughout the book. So I think the best way you can get the essence of the book is for me to go ahead and read you the prologue. And why don't I just get started? Ritter knew he had me. He was one of those detectives that smelled blood and tracked the scent until the prey was caught like a deer with headlights shining in his eyes. I knew my deepest despair would only make his conquest even more rewarding, capturing the high-powered senator, the mover and shaker of D.C. I was the first African-American from Massachusetts that was in serious line for the presidency. The thought of my future tied to anybody's whim made my hands run cold. Funny how you can be burning up and cold at the same time. I waited for what seemed like an eternity. "Have you been waiting long?" he said. I turned to see a middle-aged man with an expression of sobriety on his face. He was a brother too. Chocolate and lanky was the best way to describe him. His posture carried the weight of the world with a certain grace and posture. I decided to be honest. Not too long. Let's head to Winston's Cafe and get out of this weather. We strolled in complete silence. I studied my environment as if I'd been in D.C. for the first time. The smell and sight of D.C. was always intoxicating. There was only one way to describe it: power. It was the sexiest city I had ever encountered. Again, I marveled how a poor boy from Cleveland could end up as a senator from the state of Massachusetts. Not just any senator either, but one to be feared and revered. We arrived at Winston's Cafe just before the cold, heavy rain began to fall. Winston's was one of those trendy cafes that most people went to for the ambiance and to be among the politically elite rather than for the food or drink. The restaurant had granite tables tossed about and a hard black and white marble floor. Soft music played in the background with warm, colorful, modern paintings adorning its walls. The usual crowd was nowhere to be found because it was a Sunday. We then chose a very private table in the corner. "I'm glad you could meet me," Ritter said. "Did I have a choice?" "We always have choices, Senator." We sat in silence as the waitress took our order. "Just coffee will be fine," I said. Ritter looked up at the perfect blonde waitress. "Coffee as well as one of those cinnamon rolls you all are so famous for." "Yes, sir," she winked, smiled, and walked away. How he knew what they were famous for was beyond me. He certainly didn't fit the regulars here. But then, appearances could be deceiving. I should know, I thought, as I sipped my coffee bitterly. "So tell me, Ritter, how will the story play out?" I said. "You tell me, Senator Montgomery. Or should I say, Senator Baker." He was both formal and sarcastic. We burrowed into each other's eyes, trying to determine what was the best next move. It was life and a game of chess. Ritter had declared checkmate. It was a strange time to ruminate on the past, but here I was, the walls of my life tumbling down around me, and I was in reflection. I thought of my pretty, tall, slender, mocha-colored wife, Suzanne, and how she would react. I married the princess, the daughter of the multi-million-dollar attorney from Atlanta. It was sad that I really didn't care what she thought. Our marriage was nothing but window dressing and duty. I thought about my mistress, Nicola, how I adored her. As always, a tinge of guilt overwhelmed me as I thought how I chose power over love. Nicola was magical with her sassy ways, smooth textured ebony skin, and sultry eyes. Even if I had a chance to make it right, would she want me after this? Then I thought about my beautiful, properly reared children. How would this affect them, to know that their father was a murderer and a fraud? As dark thoughts swirled around my mind, I drifted back to the days when I was a simple but mischievous boy from Cleveland, whose only unique trait was the identical twin brother named Jack, and a father who loved me but had just plain given up. I hope this is drawing you into my world of When the Walls Came Tumbling Down, The Secret Life of Senator Jack. It's an intriguing novel that will capture you from the first page to the last. You can find it on Amazon.com. You can also find it at most of the Barnes & Noble bookstores. And also go to my website, BernadineMerrick.com. You can order a signed copy. You can also learn more about the characters and the various book reviews. Thank you so much.